This isn't just a stool, it is a warning. Look closer. This stool predicted colonization before it even happened. I am Joana, and it's time to uncover Africa's untold stories. The journey to understand this stool is also a journey to reclaim dignity, history, and self-worth. So if you know what this particular artifact is called, please drop your comments beneath. I want to know, because this is how we can collectively start building our identity and history, reclaiming our history back. You know, the artist must have given it a name, or by the Oba who probably commissioned the making of this stool. Now, this stool witnessed the fall of a kingdom. What if I told you wood remembers everything? Did you know every symbol on this stool tells the prophecy? What if we've been too blind to read it? Artifact number AF1898,0632.2. Production, Benin City. Dated about 1850 to 1897. Based on the information on the British Museum, so do we really know? The materials used were wood, glass, brass, possibly these brass are nails, carved, mortise, tenon joinery. So it's going to be as high as this and maybe as wide, you know, like this, and the depth is probably like this, so you could actually carry it under your arm. But it is with them in the museum. We can't really measure it, can we? Based on analyzing this image, as we do not have access to it, like I said earlier, this is what we see on top of the surface. The Oba holding an ebe, that's a sword, flanked by a European in a boat. An attendant umbrella, imagery of trade goods, crocodiles, snakes, they are in between. Towards the leg, you have this human and animal figures, mirrors inserted in the stretchers. Trust me, soon we are going to decode what this story, these carvings on these stools were trying to tell us. Before then, let's look at the stool acquisition. It was taken by Captain Ernest Percy Stewart Ruppel during the British punitive expedition of 1897. That's the invasion of the Benin Empire by the British. According to the museum inventory, the Oba Ovorame sat on the stool when he was sentenced to exile in September 1898. Now, what does this stool symbolize? Is it merely a chair to be sat on or viewed behind the museum glasses? Is it a ceremonial throne, a spiritual cultural piece? So let's put it in context. In Benin, the rectangular stool is considered the oldest because it was introduced by the Ogiso ruler area, and this, you know, the first dynasty, right? The chair here has 9 interlocking parts and carvings that show European interaction, both traders and local power. This adds dimension. There's craftsmanship, cultural continuity, hybrid image of local and global. Now, let's decode the story that the image of the Benin stool, artifact AF198,0630. Tell us. At the heart of the stool sits the Oba of Benin, clothed in coral regalia. Standing in majesty, he holds an ebon sword, a sword of honor, symbol of justice, authority, and ancestral legitimacy. On one hand, he holds a Y-shaped object formed from a mysterious symbol of unity between realms, perhaps between the physical and the spiritual, I don't know. The Oba stands tall, unmoved, even though chaos surrounds him. This already tells us the king is the axis of order in the world of turbulence. Now, on the left, an attendant shields him with a parasol, a sign of royalty and divine status. Now, to the right, a European stands in the boat, raising a cutlass. He wears a suit and a hat, symbols of European identity and foreign presence. Barrels and vessels surround his boat. So you see, likely this is palm oil container, the red gold that drew Europe to West Africa. Here, the image captures the early encounter between Benin and Europe. Trade that began peacefully but would soon turn exploitative. The animals carved beneath and around the figures are not just decorations. They are spiritual metaphors. Crocodile, power over water, connection to Olokun, the deity of wealth and the sea. Snakes, spiritual guardians, symbol of transformation and continuity. Together, these animals portray a spiritual ecosystem that empowers the Oba. He rules not just people, but also in with nature and the unseen world. Now, the secular mirrors, that's the one I've been wondering about. Inserted into the frame are powerful symbols. Mirrors are portrayed in the seen and the unseen. They reflect the faces of those approaching, forcing you to confront yourself, your deeds. In ritual meaning, they connect to Olokun, the deity of depth and wealth, often represented with, you know, reflective surfaces. Now, since they can't have enough of studying our world, here are some places where this tool has traveled for exhibition. 1970 to 73, London, Museum of Mankind, Divine Kinship in Africa, that was the title. Then again, 1993 to 1997, 4 years in London, the same Museum of Mankind, Great Benin, a West African kingdom, titled. You people that say you are not great, they are titling you great now. 2007 to 2008, it went on a tour exhibition in Bristol, Vienna, Paris, Berlin, Chicago, Hong Kong. Now, how did the British actually get this tool? Let's explore the human agent of dispossession. Artifact AF188,0630.2 was looted by Captain Ruppel, a British military officer who helped to loot the Benin Kingdom Palace in 1897. He was later a district administrator in Benin. He joined the Royal Guards, a political officer with the Niger Coast Protectorate Force, became divisional commander in Cross River, took part in a British expedition in Benin City in 1897, like I said, and served in the Ashanti expedition in the 1900s. When he retired, he was specially promoted, rewarded with Lieutenant Colonel. Now, for his deeds serving everywhere and The stool remained abroad. Mirror is missing, cracked, missing parts of the stretcher. The stool as a symbol being removed now undermines cultural continuity. The stool ceased to function in its original context and became part of colonial spoil. Now, I'm not aware that the stool has been returned, so if you know, drop a comment beneath. Should this stool be returned? Would you go and see it? Perhaps it will remind us that those before us loved their craft, they invested in precision, and that we, of course, had our own ways of documenting experiences through the carvings. This tool is a testament to the sophistication of Edo craftsmanship. High-level trade networks, palm oil building Europe's industrial revolution. This tool reminds us of royal ritual, of the cultural resistance. By telling the story, we say we value our heritage. This object becomes a bridge for future generations. This piece was looted, but not the story tells. Repatriation is not only about returning the artifact, it's about returning meaning to the artifacts. Know your power. I am Joana.